Hi everybody! Welcome to the fourth installment of the How to Sight Sing series. So in the last installment, we went through some basic sight reading exercises as a way of exploring the sight singing process. So we learned that when you first approach an exercise, you should find the key signature, label what note is what on the staff, label the exercise, play your starting note, and sing. And we gathered up all those tools and we applied them to some exercises. And in this video, you're going to get the chance to do that on your own. So in the description box below, I have a link to a file that has exercises, and the file, when you open it, should look something like this. And there's 8 of these exercises on here. And what you're going to do is you're going to print this out and you're going to go through these exercises and go through the steps that we've talked about in the last video to try to sight read them on your own. And I have a second link, which is a printout of the steps of sight reading and exercise, just so you can remind yourself of the process and the mnemonic devices that we use, things like that. And so once you've gone through this sheet, you can come back to the video and I'm going to go over each exercise. We're going to find the key signature together, label the staff and the exercise together, and I'm going to sing it for you. And that'll be a way for you to compare how you did when practicing on your own versus me singing the video. And if you went through the exercises and then you listened to the video and you felt you did pretty well, that's awesome. If you struggled a little bit or felt confused about the process, that is definitely okay. Sight reading is something that takes people a long time to learn because it is sort of like learning a new language. So if you feel like, oh, I'm not doing this right, I'm not progressing, why didn't I sound like that? Those are okay, that's an okay place to be. So don't beat yourself up. This is a learning process, and there's going to come a time where it'll click. For some people that happens early, some people it doesn't happen so early. It's all about your progress, and eventually you'll come to a place where you feel like you can look at a piece of music and say, okay, I sort of kind of have an idea of what this sounds like. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that you enjoy the exercises and that you get something out of this video. So let's begin. This is exercise number 1. First, let's find the key signature. There are flats in this exercise, so if we use our mnemonic device for flats, Freddie bought Eddie a dented gift. We have one flat, Freddie. We are in the key of F major. Now we'll label the staff. If we're in F major, then F is do, G is re, A is mi, B flat is fa, C is sol, D is la, E is ti, and F is do. Now we'll label the exercise. We start on an F, which is do, and we end on an F, which is also do. Now, are there any patterns or any peaks or valleys? No, this exercise, as you can see here, is all the same notes, so we're just going to start on do and keep singing do until we end. So now that we've labeled our exercise, we'll play the starting note and sight read. That was exercise number 1. This is exercise number 2. Let's find the key signature. There are flats in this exercise, so if we count with our mnemonic device for flats, give Dave and Ethel bad fat cats, give, Dave. We're in the key of D major. Now if we're in the key of D major, that means D is do, E is re, F is mi, G is fa, A is sol, B is la, C sharp is ti, and D is do. Now I messed up here. F sharp is mi, because the F is sharped up here. So F sharp is mi. So now that we've labeled the staff, let's label our exercise. So if we're in the key of D major, and we're starting on a D, we're starting on do. So our starting note is do, and we're also ending on a D, so our ending note is do as well. Now, are there any patterns that we should take note of? So it looks like we're going to repeat a note, and we're going to go up a note and repeat, and then come down a note and repeat. So we're repeating do here, and then we're going to go up to an E, so we're going up to re, and then we're repeating re again, and then we're coming back down to do. So now that we've labeled our exercise, we're going to play the starting note, which is a D, and we're going to sing. Do, do, re, re, do, do. That was exercise number 2. This is exercise number 3. So let's find the key signature. There are sharps in this exercise. So if we count with our mnemonic device for sharps, give, Dave, and Ethel, bad fat cats, we have 1 sharp, which is give. So we're in the key of G major. So in the key of G major, G is do, A is re, B is mi, C is fa, D is sol, E is la, that's an L, la, F sharp is ti, and G is do. So now we're going to label the exercise. So we start on a G, which in the key of G major is do, so we're starting on do. And we're ending on a B. So in the key of G major, a B is mi. How refreshing. We're not starting and ending on do, we're starting on do and ending on mi. So are there any patterns in this exercise? Well, if we were to draw a line, it would kind of look like a staircase, because we're going across, staying the same, and then we're going up a note, staying the same, going up a note, and staying the same. So we know we're going to go up in pitch throughout the whole thing. So we're starting on do and we're staying the same, so we're singing do again. Then we're moving up to an A, which is re, and we're staying there. And then we're moving up to a B, which is mi, and then we're ending on mi. So now that we've labeled the exercise, we're going to play the starting note, and we will sing. Do, do, re, re, mi, mi. All right, that was exercise number 3. This is exercise number 4. So to find the key signature, we see that there's no sharps or flats here. So if there's no sharps or flats, that means we're in the key of C major. So when we're in the key of C major, C is do. I'm going to do a little fun thing and go backwards here. C is do, B is ti, A is la, G is sol, F is fa, E is mi, D is re, and then there would be a line here. C is do. This line and this line are supposed to match up. That should give you a hint as to what the starting note is. So we're going to start on the C in this exercise. So C is do in the key of C major, so we're starting on do. And we're also ending on do, because we are ending on a C. So are there any patterns in this exercise? Well, we're going to go up in pitch, and then we're going to stay there for a little bit, and then we're going to come back down. So looks like we're going from do to going to a D here. D is re. Then we're going to an E, which is mi. Then we're going to stay on mi. Then we're going to go back down to re, and then back down to do. All right, so now we're going to play the starting note, and we're going to sing. Do, re, mi, re, do. That was exercise number 4. This is exercise number 5. So we have flats in this key signature, and if you recognize this from earlier, this exercise is in F major. Because remember, from our mnemonic device, if there's one flat, that's the word Freddie in the mnemonic device, so we're in F major. So I'm actually not going to write out the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on the staff, because as you move along in sight reading, you're not going to need to do that as much, and I think this will be a nice challenge for us to see if we can remember what syllables go where if we don't have our little guide on this side of the staff near the clef. So in F major, we know that F is do. And if we look at our exercise, we're starting on do here. So we're starting on an F. And we're also ending on an F. So we're ending on do as well. Now, what patterns do we see? Well, it's sort of like a set of peaks and valleys here. So we're going to go up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down. So if we look at our ups and downs here, we're always going to go up to the same note. And it's one above the note do. Now, one above the note do in the scale is re. One above F is G. So G is re. So we know every time we go up to a G, we're going to re. And if we look at our little valleys, they're all on Fs. So every time we come back down to a note, we're coming down to do. All right, so now we're going to play the starting note, and we're going to sing. Do, re, do, re, do, re, do. Awesome. So if you notice, doing this particular exercise took a little bit less time than the others because we didn't go through every single step in the process. And as you become more familiar with sight reading, the process is going to go a little quicker, or you might not need to do all the steps. So at whatever rate you're progressing, feel free to do whatever steps you want to do, whatever steps you don't want to do, whatever is helpful to you. You are the one who ultimately sees your score. So whatever marks you need to make, whatever notations you need to make, whatever diagramming you need to do, it's all a tool to help you be able to read a piece of music, not having seen it very many times before. So whatever parts of the process you need to do in order for that to be successful, go ahead and do it. That's awesome. On to the next exercise. Alrighty, this is exercise number 6. So we see here that we have some sharps And according to our mnemonic device, 2 sharps means we're in the key of D major, because in the mnemonic device, when you have 2 sharps, it's give, Dave. So we're in D major. All right, so we know in D major that D is do. So it looks like we're starting and ending on a D here. So starting and ending on do. Now, are there any patterns we should take note of? Well, we're going to go up in pitch, and then we're going to come back down. So it's very simple. This is a pattern we've seen before. We saw it in a different key, but we've seen the same pattern. And as you start becoming more familiar with sight reading, you'll learn to recognize these patterns in different keys based on the way the notes are arranged. And you'll begin to know how those patterns sound. So if we are going to be marking up this exercise, we know we start on D, which is do, and then we go up 1 note to E, which is re, in the key of D. And we go up to an F sharp, which is mi, and we come back down to an E, which we know is re, and then back down to do. So we're going to play the starting note, which is a D, and we're going to sing. Do, re, mi, re, do. That was exercise number 6. All right, this is exercise number 7. So let's find the key signature. We are in the key of G major, because in the mnemonic device for sharps, give, Dave, and Ethel bad fat cats, 1 sharp, we're on the word give, so this is the key of G major. And we know that from previous exercises that in G major, G is do. And looks like we are starting and ending on a G. So we know that we're starting and ending on do. Now, what are the patterns in this exercise? Well, we're going to stay on the note, and we're going to go down a note and stay, and then we're going to go back up and stay. So we are staying on do for the second note, and then we're going to go down a note. 1 below do is T. And then we're going to stay on T, and then we're going to go back up to G, which is do. So now that we've labeled the exercise, we're going to play the starting note, and we're going to sing. Do, do, ti, ti, do, do. That was exercise number 7. This is exercise number 8, the last exercise of the video. Woohoo! So we are in the key of C major, and how can we tell that? Well, there are no sharps or flats next to the clef. And as you know from previous exercises, whenever we're in C major, C is do. And it looks like we are starting and ending on a C. So we are starting and ending on do. What a surprise. All right, are there any patterns we should take note of? Well, we're gonna go down in pitch, and then we're gonna go up in pitch. So after do, we're gonna go down from C to B. B is 1 below C. And if we're going down the scale from do, T is 1 below do. So we're going from do to T. 1 below T is la. Going to an A here, so A is la. Then we're going back up to a B, which we know is T. And then we're going back up to a C, which we know is do. So if you can sense sort of a theme here, we started our exercise set with a lot of exercises dealing with do, re, and mi, and we ended with a couple dealing with do, ti, and la, and sort of this downward motion. So that's a theme we're going to pick up on in the next set of exercises, and then we're going to explore a different theme. So now that we've labeled our exercise, we are going to play the starting note and we're going to sing. Now note that this C is different than the C I played before. The C that we had in our last set of exercises was an octave lower. It was middle C. This is the C above middle C. So this is what middle C sounds like. Middle C is down here. And this is what our C sounds like. So we're an octave up. So now I'm going to play it again and we're going to sing. Do, ti, la, ti, do. All right. That was exercise number 8. So now that you've gone through the exercises on your own and you've heard me go over them, how do you feel? How does it feel to have sight read for the first time using this method on your own? Or maybe it's not your first time sight reading and you're refreshing yourself. How does it feel to be refreshed? So ask yourself those questions and take a moment to celebrate how much you've done. You've sight read 8 exercises on your own, and that's a lot. That's great. So wherever you are right now, however you're feeling about this process, I hope that you will appreciate how much time and effort you just put in, how much focus it takes to do something like this, and I hope that you'll stick with it. So in the next video, I'm going to post 8 more exercises. They're going to increase in difficulty just a little bit, but not by much, and we're going to do the same sort of process. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that you have a great day.